Hi, welcome to our first episode of the 5-Minute Marketing Tips. And in this tip, I want to discuss with you your website. The website is actually the core of virtually every kind of marketing you're going to do. Now, the reason for this is because no matter what kind of promotion and marketing you're doing, the website will somehow, in some way, typically be a part of the process. Let's take an old school example let's take an old school method for example. Let's say you're doing postcards or direct mail, or maybe you're sending newsletters in the mail. So you send that piece out to your potential client base and they get a postcard in the mail. Now let's say that the postcard does its job and it creates enough interest in the person that they want to find out more. Now, out of the people that get that postcard that do have some kind of interest in your product or service, probably at least 60 to 70% of those people, by survey, are going to go to your website and check you out. They're going to go online and Google you. You're going to go online if you have your website on the postcard. They're going to go to your website and see what it's all about. In other words, they're going to get more information from you. The days of just being able to send a postcard out and get a direct response are almost gone. That's not to say that you can't get responses from a direct mail piece, particularly when you have Black Friday or some other kind of promotional season happening. You may have a good enough offer that just sparks them to call right now. But if you just depend upon the mail piece by itself and you don't have a website or your website's not optimized, then you're really wasting a lot of potential business that postcard could generate if you have a website optimized. So I'm going to share with you in this video 5 tips, 5 things that your website should have from a marketing perspective that's going to help you convert more of those people that hit your website, no matter how they get there. Whether they get there organically, via search, via a link that they follow from somewhere else. However they get to your website, if you put these 5 points in on your website has a much better chance at converting those visitors into customers. All right. So the first tip I want to share with you is the phone number or contact information. This is something that I cannot stress enough. Your phone number has to be large enough, it has to be legible, it has to have a high contrast to the background. It really has to stand out and pop from the rest of the site. And it really should be above the fold. Above the fold means a person shouldn't have to scroll down anywhere on their phone or on their computer in order to see the phone number. In fact, a lot of times you may have a postcard, let's say, that gives them a special offer. They hit your website, they see 1 or 2 images, and they're ready to buy right then. You don't want to make them kind of hunt and peck and scroll around and try to hunt for your phone number. You want it to be right there in their face so they can just either click it with their phone and call you, or if they're on their computer, you want them to just be able to see it right there. Boom, they pick up the phone and they call you. You don't want to make them hunt for your phone number, or if it's an email system, your email address. Have your contact information readily available, especially on the top of the page, and again on the bottom of the page too. In fact, I've seen sales pages that are specifically geared toward build interest will have several buy now buttons or some kind of contact button many times throughout the page. The reason for that is because you're going to catch some people being very interested right in the beginning. Boom, there's the phone number. Then some people need a little bit more marinating, a little bit more content or information, so you give them that information, boom, there's your phone number. Then you give other people need more information or more testimonials, those types of things, so you give that content to them, and then boom, there's your phone number again. The more easily accessible their phone number is at that moment when they're ready to buy, the easier it is for them to pick up the phone and call you, and the more leads you're going to get from your website. Tip number 2. The second point that your website really should have is some kind of picture of yourself, or in the case of an e-commerce store, it should definitely have pictures of people. Even if you're just a product store, an online store selling products, you want to have pictures of people because people actually are hardwired to view other people and to look for other people. When they see individuals using a product, for example, or they see people that would be like as a result of using that product, they look like this, it adds credibility, it adds that human touch. Even on my site where we're talking about marketing techniques and other things, you'll see a picture of me right there on the homepage. I want people to know who they're doing business with. And people actually look for that. it builds trust. It builds that personal interaction with people when they can see a live face there. And if you have video on your website, that's even better, because that even shows a more intimate view of the individual themselves. So have pictures of people on your website. The third point that you really have to have is a really killer headline. It's not just enough to have a great slider or a great image. You need to have a headline. And that headline ideally should be something that's surveyed with your public. In other words, you go out and you find out what problems your customers have that your products solve. What is interesting about your product? What is something that you really want that person to think about right away? Something that's just going to really grab their attention. Like, the reality is today, people don't have time. They don't have time to sit there, hit a website, and spend 10 minutes reading through all the text. Boom, you want to grab them, you want to hit them right between the eyes with a message that's going to really communicate either the problem that they're having or the solution that you have. As an example, me as a marketing company, I solve the problem of companies that don't have enough customers, right? So my headline might say something like, need more customers, right? Pretty obvious, like not getting enough customers. Or maybe if I've talked to a lot of people and a lot of people I'm talking to say that marketing's too expensive, that might be my headline. Marketing too expensive? Not anymore. Boom. Now that grabs a person's attention and pulls them out of whatever other stuff that they have going on at that moment, and it makes them focus on what this web page is saying, right? So your headline has to be able to do that. It has to grab attention and eliminate all the distractions and get them to focus on the page. Okay, that's all I'm going to give you here. There's about 5 or 6 more points I have for you that I'm going to keep to myself for right now. I've given you 3 killer ones that are extremely important, and I'll give you some more here in the next videos. But give me a call, 727-225-2790. Let's have a conversation about you and your business, and let me show you how we're different from other marketing companies, but also how easy it is to really get started and get customers coming in and flowing in your door. All right? Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next video.